The galaxy was a patchwork of empires, alliances, and uneasy truces. At the heart of it all was the towering, crystalline throne world of the Andraxan sovereignty, ruled by Queen Kythera, a being of unmatched cunning and ruthless pragmatism. Her people, the Andraxans, were an ancient insectoid species known for their brilliance in genetic engineering and war strategy. For centuries, their empire expanded unchecked, swallowing smaller civilizations and dismantling rival powers. Yet, even they could not predict the arrival of humanity, a species as unpredictable as it was tenacious. When humans first appeared on the galactic stage, they were dismissed as a fleeting nuisance, their technology primitive by Andraxan standards. But over the next 2 centuries, humanity clawed its way into relevance. Their knack for improvisation, their ability to form alliances, and their unparalleled stubbornness earned them a reputation as a species that was not to be trifled with. They weren't the strongest, the smartest, or the most advanced, but they were survivors. And now, as the Andraxan war machine prepared to crush the last remnants of the Terran Confederacy, the sovereignty found itself locked in a war unlike any it had ever fought. The humans were outmatched on every front, yet they refused to yield. It was said that to defeat a human fleet required wiping it out to the last ship because they never retreated. The war had raged for decades, and though humanity had suffered unimaginable losses, their spirit remained unbroken. The Andraxan queen, however, was reaching the limits of her patience. She had decreed that humanity would be erased from the stars, a final, decisive blow that would end the war and secure her empire's dominance for millennia to come. This was the backdrop against which 16-year-old Jacob Carter found himself thrust into history. Jacob was the son of a Terran diplomat who had been captured during an Andraxan raid on a frontier colony. His mother had been killed during the attack, but Jacob, with his sharp mind and quick reflexes, had caught the eye of an Andraxan commander. Instead of being executed, he was taken as a prisoner, a curiosity to be studied. Jacob spent the next 3 years aboard an Andraxan warship, a living anomaly among the insectoid crew. Though he was officially a prisoner, the crew grew to admire his resourcefulness and adaptability. The Andraxans were a rigid, hierarchical species, bound by genetic programming and protocols. To them, Jacob's ability to think outside the box was both fascinating and unsettling. He repaired systems they thought unsalvageable, devised strategies that caught their enemies off guard, and even saved the ship on more than one occasion during ambushes. Despite their differences, Jacob formed a bond with the ship's navigator, Tilrin, an Andraxan female whose curiosity about humans bordered on obsession. Tilrin saw in Jacob a glimpse of something her species had long lost, an ability to evolve not just physically but emotionally and intellectually in real time. She began to question the sovereignty's unyielding doctrine of conquest and extermination. It was during this time that the Andraxan queen initiated her final campaign against humanity. Using a massive fleet, she laid siege to Earth, humanity's cradle and last stronghold. The Terran Confederacy, battered and desperate, mustered every ship and soldier they had left to defend their homeworld. The galaxy watched, certain that humanity's end was near. Jacob, still aboard the Andraxan warship, had no intention of sitting idly by. Over the years, he had learned to navigate Andraxan systems and had secretly planted subroutines in the ship's AI. When the order came to join the attack on Earth, Jacob enacted his plan. With Tilrin's reluctant help, he sabotaged the ship's navigation systems, forcing it out of formation. Then, using his knowledge of Andraxan communication protocols, he transmitted a coded message to the Terran fleet, detailing the sovereignty's attack plan. It was a risky gambit. If the Andraxans discovered his betrayal, execution would be the least of his worries. The final battle over Earth was a symphony of chaos and destruction. Andraxan dreadnoughts rained plasma fire upon the planet, while human ships darted through the fray, exploiting every weakness Jacob had outlined in his message. The tide began to turn when human forces, using tactics inspired by Jacob's insights, managed to disable the flagship of the Andraxan fleet. But victory came at a cost. Millions of lives were lost, and Earth's surface was scarred beyond recognition. As the Andraxan fleet retreated, Queen Kythera seethed with rage. She ordered Jacob's ship to return to the throne world, where he would be made an example of. Upon arriving, Jacob was brought before the queen herself. She was an imposing figure, her exoskeleton glistening like obsidian, her multifaceted eyes reflecting the dim light of the throne room. She regarded Jacob with a mixture of contempt and curiosity. "You are a pest," she hissed, her voice a low, resonant hum. "Yet you have undone centuries of Andraxan supremacy with your meddling. Tell me, human, why should I not crush you where you stand?" Jacob, defiant even in the face of death, met her gaze. "Because you can't win this war. Not now, not ever. Humanity isn't just a species. We're an idea. And ideas can't be killed." The queen laughed, a sharp, chittering sound. But there was a hint of unease in her demeanor. Before she could respond, Tilrin stepped forward. To the shock of everyone present, she declared her loyalty to Jacob, accusing the queen of leading the sovereignty to ruin with her obsession with conquest. Her words struck a chord with many in the court. Over the years, cracks had begun to form in the sovereignty's unity. The war with humanity had drained resources and sown dissent. Tilrin's defection was the spark that ignited a fire. A faction of Andraxans, weary of war and intrigued by humanity's resilience, rallied behind her. The queen, realizing her grip on power was slipping, attempted to crush the rebellion. But Jacob, leveraging his understanding of Andraxan systems and tactics, led the insurgents in a daring coup. The battle for the throne world was fierce, but in the end, Queen Kythera was overthrown. Jacob, though still an outsider, became a symbol of hope for a new era. Under his influence, the Andraxan sovereignty began to rebuild, not as conquerors but as collaborators. Humanity, battered but unbroken, found an unexpected ally in their former enemy. Together, they began to chart a new path for the galaxy, one defined not by domination but by cooperation. And so, a boy from a forgotten colony became the catalyst for a revolution that would reshape the stars. His name, once unknown, was now spoken with reverence across countless worlds. Jacob Carter, the human who shifted the galaxy's fate in the alien queen's final hour.